All right, we're live.
Let's go. As we record this right now, it is July 1st, the year of our Lord, 2021. We are about roughly close to halfway through the Bobby Bonilla contract. It's Bobby Bonilla Day here on We Gotta Believe. And I'm going to hit you. We Gotta Believe is going to be responsible for the only rational, right down the middle take on Bobby Bonilla Day. Because Darren Rovell, that rat motherfucker, started this trend several years ago where it was the Mets are a laughing stock because they deferred money to Bobby Bonilla. So Bobby Bo, if you don't know, if somehow you're listening to this podcast and you live under a fucking rock, he gave up his $5.9 million contract in the year 1999, technically. And then starting in 2011 through 2035, he gets his money deferred to the tune of $1.19 million every July 1st. So he's going to end up making $29.8 million on what should have been his $5.9 million. And everyone turned that into LOL Mets. And I certainly was part of it in the beginning. Before I looked around, before I used my brain, and before I looked at the results of that. Clem, I'm going to let you get in on this a second. I just got to get this all off my chest.
Come on, Deloitte kid. This is your
Let's go. All right, yes.
We got spreadsheets.
Let's begin there. No, you know what? Let's begin with deferred contracts. The amount of people who have deferred contracts is through the roof. If you look, go to @MikeMayer22 on Twitter, Mayer. He will show you every deferred contract there is. He threaded it last year. Darren O'Day gets paid $1 million every year till 2023. Chris Sale gets $10 million a year from 2035 to 2039. Dustin Pedroia gets $2 million a year till 2024, $2.5 million through 2028. Manny Ramirez gets $1.9 million through 2026. Evan Longoria gets 11. I mean, it goes on and on. This thread is like, it's endless. It just keeps going. Everybody defers money. So let me start there. The reason why they defer money is because of how fucking economics works, where there's a little something called net present value of money. So money up front right now that you can invest somewhere has a certain value based on an interest rate and a period of time and all that shit. So having money up front that you can defer till later makes sense economically. What doesn't make sense, and where the Mets still are stupid, because I've seen Mets fans now go the other direction where they're like, this happened, like what I just said. This happens everywhere to every team, and it's not a big deal. The Mets are stupid because they gave Bobby Bonilla 8% return on his money, and that is fucking insane. Even if they did like half that, if they did like 4%, which would be much more normal, the payments would be like $400,000 a year, and nobody would be talking about that. Nobody would be talking about a $400,000 payment. I'm surprised we even get bent out of shape about 1.2. That's like fucking ashtray money in the big leagues. It's funny because he gets paid until he's 70, and he gets paid until an obscene year after he left. But the only thing that's obscene is that they gave him 8% return, and that's because they were assuming Madoff money. They were going to take that money and go make. We'll take our $5.9 million now, and using, Uncle Bernie's 25% rate of return, we'll gladly give you 8%. That's where the whole thing fell apart. And that's where you deserve to make fun of the Mets. But they took that money and immediately gave it to Mike Hampton, who was the NLCS MVP and led us to the World Series. And then when Mike Hampton left because his bitch-ass wife wanted the good school systems in Denver, you asshole, we took that compensatory pick and drafted David Wright, who was a huge piece of making a playoff run in 2006. So get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. Get the fuck out. That was a smart deal. It immediately paid off. Like, immediately. In 1999, we had a cancer on our team who was batting $160. We got rid of him. We got Mike Hampton, and we went to the World Series the next year. I would do that right fucking now. If you told me that we could get rid of some bum and we got to pay him till 2060, but we'll go to the World Series next year, sign me the fuck up. That's what big market teams do. They use their money to get wins. And that's exactly what the Mets did in the early 2000s. In 2006, they ended up going to the NLCS. 2007, we all know what happened. 2015, technically, David Wright's still there and goes to the fucking World Series. So 2 World Series appearances from pieces that they got directly from getting rid of Bobby Bonilla in exchange for just paying him ashtray money until he's 70. I'll do that all day, every day. You want to make fun of the Mets? Make fun of them for giving an 8% rate of return and thinking they were going to get their Madoff money. Fine, no problem with that. But do not make fun of the Mets for actually using deferred money to win in the short term. You assholes.
Go off. Hit me with some pivot tables, King, you sick son of a bitch. You're talking rate of return.
My graphing calculator. Let me get out my fucking net present value calculator, you assholes.
Talking rate of return before lunchtime. You are one sick son of a bitch, KFC. It truly is amazing how we are able to squeeze content out of this day every single year. Thank God Uncle Stevie is here and this team is good, because losing 20-2 the night before rolling into Bobby Bonilla Day would have been an absolutely brutal back-to-back, like 24 hours for Mets fans to deal with. So, Grom Day tonight wipes out Bobby Bonilla Day during the day, and everything's going to be all right. And this is the other thing too, and I've said this in the past. It's the mix of the Mets, which are LOL Mets. Just the name Mets is a punchline. Plus the name Bobby Bonilla, it both starts with B, kind of like
Bobby Bo. Yep.
It's a thing. It's a thing. So I would, and if it was another team that was not the Mets, I would be fucking doing the. People still hit us with like the Happy Bobby Bonilla Day at the Club Reporter, KFC Bar. So it's like, guys, we've
taking it back. I love Bobby Bonilla Day. It's fun. It's something to talk about. I love the hypothetical. We're going to talk about who else you would give the Bobby Bonilla treatment to. What would you do with the money? Bobby Bo himself finally coming around. Shout out to Mint Mobile, the only company I've seen capitalize on Bobby Bo Day. If you go look at Twitter at Mint Mobile, they've got a very funny commercial out where they're just making fun of how irresponsible the Mets were, even though I just proved they weren't. But on the surface, yes. Like, that's the thing. On the surface, you have to have a sense of humor about this. The Mets fans who get bent out of shape, I guess the way I just did, are ridiculous because it's just like, yeah, on the surface, if you don't look at the granular differences, it's funny. The guy was supposed to get $5 million. He's going to get like $30 million, and he gets paid until he's almost dead. That's obviously ridiculous. Have some fun with it, because it's like getting trolled. If you let them troll you, then you get made fun of. If you laugh about it and have a good time with it, then there it is. There it is. The Bobby Bonilla check from the bank of Uncle Stevie, $1.19, million, whatever, for absolutely nothing. July 1st, 2021. It's a beautiful thing. I love it, man. And Bobby Bo now is doing the sleepover at Citi Field. Finally leaning into it a little bit. We literally have tried for years to get Bobby Bonilla on this show. I don't think he does podcast appearances. Look at that. Look how beautiful that Happy Gilmore check is. Here's the thing. Everything I just said, I understand why you want the money up front, but I would love a Bobby Bonilla deal.
Oh, that's the thing. That's why whenever I play the scratch-offs, I play win for life. And even though they always say you got it, everyone's like, when you win for life, you got to get the lump sum. But it's like, it's just something about, and that's poor man shit compared to Bobby Bo stuff, where it's just $1,000 a week or whatever.
Yep.
But it's just having that every single week. You just know it's coming in the mail. You're getting that check. Bobby Bo knows July 1st, he's getting
money,
PAID.
Money for nothing is the dream. Money, if you give me money that I earn, I worked for it. It doesn't feel as good. You know what it is? Bobby Bonilla has a $1.2 million bill that he finds in his winter coat. I guess in this case, his summer coat every year. It's like when you find $20 in your winter coat, the first time you put it on for the season, that's just your money that you put there last year. But you found it and it feels amazing. You're like, oh shit, I found this money. That's Bobby Bo every July, except it's $1.2 million. And he's chilling, doing nothing. And every time at midnight, that direct deposit hits, and he's got another $1 million. It's the greatest retirement fund of all time.
He can play poker.
You're all fucked up, Kyle. Your mic went all robot on us.
Kyle went Android. Kyle's got Android on us. He fucking took his Bobby Bo money and became a robot. He's gonna live forever. You sick son of a bitch, Kyle.
Talk now. It's all robot. Shut it down and come back.
Hopefully we don't lose the stream. Yeah, when he left the room, it got fucked up before. So whatever it is,
he'll be back.
He was having some issues, but anyway, the Uncle Stevie taking it back. And listen, I know everyone wanted him. I saw everyone last night when they tweeted out, big announcement coming tomorrow. They wanted Uncle Stevie to pay off the debt.
Oh, no way, no fucking way would you do that? Like I just said, it's like it doesn't make economic sense. Just let him fucking do this. That's crazy to think that was going to happen. I didn't. Did you think that was going to happen? Not for 1 second.
No, and with Airbnb, you're just going to make money on Airbnb this year. You'll make it off another company next year, and then you just turn a negative into a positive and do the whole thing. And the fact, I'll tell you, Bobby Bo, as he was reading that Airbnb ad, I'm like, yeah, he may not be too good on a podcast. He's like,
oh yeah, if you see, the Mets did a great job of cutting B-roll into there because the whole time he's doing this with his eyes reading off the screen, like couldn't be bothered to memorize like a 10-second script. I don't think he'd be great on a pod. But I want to give it a shot because I just want to have like one quote for him. I just want to know, like, what are you thinking, Bobby? Every June 30th, like, what's going through your mind? Where you're just like, do you wake up in the morning and go to like your online banking and just hit enter and just watch like that million show up? Like that has got to be amazing. Is it direct deposit? Does someone cash a check? Does how does it literally work? And how does it feel every year to just get $1 million for doing nothing? And do you laugh at the Mets? Do you send Jeff Wilpon a text every year? Thanks for the $1 million. Like there's so many things I want to know about it that are just, there's only like one man who has it at this extent. Like I said, there's 1 million people with deferred money, but to this extent, there's only one man on the planet who could answer those questions.
I want to know if he ever forgot about it. And it's like, especially if you forget about the day, you're like, oh shit. And you like go on your account, and you're like, whoa, what's that? Oh, that's right. I get
you know what? Yet again. I bet 2012. I think he probably circled 2011 on his calendar. Like, oh, that's the year my payments kick in. But then 2012, you're like, wait a minute, what the? Oh shit, that's right. I get $1 million a year till 2035. Oh shit. Like, that's got to be incredible.
Now, our boy, Super Producer BC, like he always does, he comes up with the great hypotheticals and shit like that. And he said, would you give Robinson Cano the Bobby Bonilla deal? You know what I mean? He said he thinks it would work out to about $10 million a year and it would free up about $50 million over the next 2 years.
So we'd have to pay him because Bobby Bo only had 5.9 million, he only gets 1 million. He's saying that Robinson Cano's so much money left on his contract that he would get 10 million a year for 35 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would be $10 million a year for 25 years for Robinson Cano, starting in let's call it 2030. But we get $50 million right now. I think
it frees it up. I don't know how that works with the luxury tax stuff like that.
How we doing, Kyle?
Who knows? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. All right,
Kyle's gone.
So here's the question, Kyle. Robinson Cano, he would get $10 million a year from, let's say, 2031 through 2054 or whatever.
Fake years, all fake years, by the way.
Yep.
Not real.
Yeah. But we would free up $50 million over the next couple seasons right now to use. Now, here's the thing. I don't give a shit if it's 1 million or 10 million if it's happening 25 years from now, like fucking whatever. Right now, have you seen us? Did you see what happened last night? Do you see what's happened over the last couple months? We could for sure use some more players and some big name players with some big checks. So I think I'm taking it. The only reason I might not is we have yet to see if Stevie Cohen is going to just whip the wallet out soon. If he's going to be a Steinbrenner in the 90s, then I don't need your $50 million right now because Steve Cohen doesn't need your $50 million right now. If he's going to really adhere to luxury tax rules and try to be, smart about it, I think I'd take the $50 million because right now I might be fucking dead. I'm going to be dead by the time Robinson Cano is seeing those final checks. So let's go right now while our window's open, while we have a good core, while we have Jacob deGrom, all that shit. And that's what they were thinking in 1999. They had the greatest infield ever. They had a lot of pieces They were like, we need, one more pitcher. Let's go get Mike Hampton. And they did it, and it worked. Well, they didn't win, but they got to the World Series. So, yeah, I think I would do it.
Deferred Robinson Cano is Keegan Clancy's problem, not Kevin Clancy's problem.
Right, exactly.
You can handle that. Yes, fuck yeah. I mean,
Give me a title.
Right now they have DeGrom's contract is deferred. So he's going to get paid until he's 51. And this is without like the extension, which they're obviously going to give him, but they're paying him $10.5 million until 2039.
Yeah.
So
also the difference here is that we love Jacob DeGrom, and he's obviously going to be worth every penny, whereas Bobby Bonilla was an absolute disaster. But
I'm just saying to backload Cano's contract, it's like whatever. If you're gonna do it for him, you might as well do it for him too. And if he's gonna be on the team and you're paying him anyway, he's taking up a spot on the roster. He's taking up a spot from McNeil at second base, and he's gonna fuck up the entire lineup. Now unless he comes back on steroids again.
I was gonna say it depends on which Robbie are we getting. Now, if you told me if all of a sudden in the year 2039 we are one piece away from the World Series and we are $10 million, we're right at the luxury tax, and we could use that extra $10 million to go get somebody. Yeah, that's gonna suck. But those are the decisions you make, and I think I would take. For a big market team, which now we are finally going to behave like one in New York with a real owner, I will lose money in exchange for players and wins all day, every day. That's the point of being a big market team. So yeah, I would do some dumb fugazi financial shit to be better in the short run. Absolutely.
And this is the other side that we're not thinking about because Robinson Cano, we do not see him every day. Just the stupid Cano shit where he hits into the double play or he does the Cano don't
barely
give a shot running, and then you lose your mind. That is worth $1 million at the very least, if not $5 million of mental torture and anguish. Yep. And then if he does that and then Kalenic hits a home run the same night, you're going to just lose your mind. So it's just out of sight, out of mind. Eddie Trumpets has turned everything around, so he's fine. It's just Robinson Cano is going to piss me the fuck off as soon as I see him next year again. So just get him out of my life.
It's crazy that he's still in our lives. It feels like he's gone and he's just not. And I know people say his COVID year was pretty good. It's guys, if that was the best we got from him on steroids, he's going to be terrible again, guys.
It's the biggest crock of shit that you could cheat and get a $240 million contract, and then they prove that you cheated twice now and you still get paid that money. What's the incentive not to cheat? I'd be shooting up left and right.
The only people who should maybe care about that is if you are a Hall of Famer without it, and you really care about your legacy, which is the top 1% of players. Everyone else should be I don't fucking know. If there was some sort of blogging steroids, and if I get caught, the internet would be oh wow, that's disgraceful. It's whatever. The world fucking thinks I'm disgraceful anyway. Don't give a shit. Let's just get better. Let's get more money. You know what I mean? It's there's really no reason not to. I would if I was a fringe player. Absolutely.
I remember being a bright-eyed high school kid. Oh my god, that's terrible. And my assistant high school coach was you're telling me if you're a AAA fringe player who can't make it and you're going to get paid $1 million to go up, you're not going to do that? And I was
right.
Fuck. I was you're corrupting the kids, I don't know, but you're right.
I don't know if we should be preaching that to the kids, but yeah, you're right. All right, what would you do if you were Bobby Bo every July 1st? What would you do? Would you spend it? Some people might be happy to just, like I said, watch it hit your account and you sit back and you just watch some TV and you sip on a beer knowing that you just got $1 million for free. Some people, somebody tweeted me. This is really funny. It's such a bleak thought, but I retweeted it this morning. This guy goes, he goes, in my twisted head, I hope Bobby is a deadbeat that blows through his money every year way too quickly. His kids ask for something on June 28th, and he's like, nope, I don't get paid till Thursday.
Yeah, just crawling to the finish line July 1st, and you just you Marty McFly, your hands are disappearing, you're about to disappear, and then boom, you get all the energy back. I think we said it last, just a fucking blowout. July 4th. Yeah. July 4th is right around the corner, too. You just have a July 4th blowout. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Wilpon. And you send the Wilpons an invitation every single year to come to the party. Yep. And you know they're not going to come.
I give a speech every year. I'd hop on social media. I want to thank one man and one man only, Jeff Wilpon. I got to thank two people, Jeff Wilpon and my agent, who absolutely fleeced you guys. 8% rate of return. Ain't nobody better than my guy. But yeah, I mean, to have that Tyrone Bigham's $450,000 crack party, just have the Bobby Bonilla $1.19 million crack party and just ball the fuck out. Invite all the scum. You know what you should do? Have a scumbag Mets party.
Ricky Henderson play poker.
Yes. Every year, Bobby Bonilla throws a $1.19 million party for Ricky Henderson, for Vince Coleman, for Brett Saberhagen, for Kevin Mitchell, for everybody who was a deadbeat piece of shit. You invite half the 86 team, invite some of your friends from the Pirates. You're playing poker. You got bitches running around. You're smoking cigars, drinking 1742 or whatever the fuck that drink is. All that shit, man. And just blow it. I would every other year I would blow it. I would save some and I would blow some.
Like the Adrian Peterson party, like he's still playing football because of his 30th birthday party, where he's like coming in on camels and like gave everybody like a gold fucking Rolex.
Yes, I would love it, man. I would go all out, the most lavish shit in the world. It's like some Brewster's Million shit. So you got to spend $1.2 million with nothing to show for it except a hangover and a fucking STD. Let's go, Bobby Bo. I need to talk to this man. Come on the podcast, Bobby. Come on. We're your own supporters out here.
I'm so disappointed he doesn't wear the earring too, because like all those pictures of the Bobby Bo day where he has the little cross earring, like that's Bobby Bo in a fucking nutshell. Worst team money can buy, the fucking centerpiece, the heart of it. Because I know Kevin, you're probably in the same boat. And I know you're a couple years younger than me. I remember it was Bobby Bo and Barry Bonds. Those were the two dudes on Pittsburgh, and they were fucking like it was them and who was the Doug Drabeck, right? Shout out to the god Andy Van Slyke. What a goddamn like an all-time name team right there. Those like 92 Pirates and them and the fucking goddamn Braves. Sid Bream. Fuck Sid Bream.
My like very, very first memory, like as a human, is like the Mets playing the Pirates when they were like in the same division way back, like 85. Like I that's like the very first thing I can remember is that like Pirates team in the 80s. And then when Bobby Bo came in the late 90s, I mean, he was so bad. You think Robinson Cano's bad? You think Francisco Lindor's bad? Shave like 100 points off his average right now, and that was Bobby Bo. And then you remember that quote he had? They said, like, we're not going to play you next year. And he was like, if I'm not in the outfield next year for this team, he said, like, there's going to be fireworks next year. Or I think he said something like in the year 2000, there's going to be fireworks, because it was like right when Y2K was popping. And it was like, okay, we got to get rid of this guy, because if we just bench him, he's gonna like beat the shit out of us. Bobby Bo's a scary cat, man. He is a scary dude. He's an angry, scary guy.
Is he the Bronx? Is he a Bronx guy? Is he a fellow Bronx guy like you? I don't know if he's Bronx or Brooklyn.
I would not be surprised if Bobby was from the Bronx.
Oh, do you know we had him 3 different times? They brought him back. I'm looking at baseball.
I thought it was twice, but I didn't know it was
92, 93, 94, then randomly in 95, and then back in 99.
I mean, Bobby was like that X that we just couldn't shake, And yeah, he's a Bronx boy, Bobby from the Bronx.
Roberto, put some respect on him. Roberto Martin Antonio Bonilla. That is a fucking name.
Roberto Bonilla. I love it. I love Roberto. From the Bronx, just coming to the Mets every couple years during the 90s, cashing checks and playing like garbage. I love it.
Batted 160.
60. I mean, so bad, dude. So, did he ever have a good season with the Mets, or was it always with other teams?
He had a couple mediocre seasons early on, but 265.
He was supposed to be that dude, and he just never panned out. And the only thing that, they'll ever remember him for will be this contract. It won't be anything he ever did on the field. It'll only be his money. So congratulations. I don't give a fuck. That's great for you. Like we said about steroids, Bobby wasn't going to be a Hall of Famer, so let him be known for the millions of dollars he made. Sounds fucking good.
By the way, and like he's only just taking advantage of it this year with the Airbnb thing and the Mint Mobile. Like Monica Lewinsky, known for blowjobs, she's got like 2 million followers on Twitter because she just rattles up a joke every once in a while. And like
he could write a whole book, man. He could do all sorts of shit. He could make another $1.2 million a year just doing some endorsements and shit like that. That Pirates logo, man, I love that. I fucking love that logo.
They got to bring it back, because I remember.
You know what those logos are, Clem? Those are a trig drawing.
Yes, they are.
Like back in the day, Major League Baseball had their own trig and was like, just draw us a cartoon of a pirate or a fucking bear cub or, whatever. And they did it. It's awesome. That's such a fucking great logo. I mean, the details, the bats as the skull and crossbones. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, I put up on the screen the old 80s Pirates logo, and this is what I think of. The Shea Stadium Wall used to have all the logos on it, and I remember, I think my first game was against the Pirates. I remember saying to my dad, like, do all those teams play here? And he's like, yeah, they all, because in my dumb head, I thought Shea Stadium was just where everyone played. It was my first baseball game. And I remember leaving the game, and I'm looking at license plates being like, all right, is Cincinnati playing next? Like, who the fuck is, and it's like, no, you dumb idiot. They come here like once a year, maybe, if they're in the National League. But that Pirates, I think Bobby Bo, Barry Bonds, Andy Van Slyke, Doug Drabeck. I think of that old school Pirates logo.
They used to sell the mini bat collections at Shea Stadium with all the different logos of every team that was coming to town, and you'd like added to it as you were going along.
Wait,
we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. I used to always love in the I think they did at Yankee Stadium, the flags where they put it in the order of the standings and shit like that. Like stuff like that, the touch of baseball. I wish they brought that shit back. And
they still do that in Wrigley.
Do they? Yeah, see, that's awesome. The trig drawings, logos, and everything like that was the absolute best. Oh, man. Just a shout out to Bobby Bo, bringing us back here, too. The man can truly do it all.
Wait, what I had said was, that the Mets are trying to cash in on every fucking team they could. We're going to sell everybody's memorabilia because we want to make as much money as humanly possible. We're part Dodgers. We're part Giants. You can buy Cincinnati Reds gear here. Like, what the – who fucking knows why other than just straight cash only?
Actually, now that you say that, they used to have. I remember in Shade on like the second or third deck, they had a New Era hat store where you could just buy other teams' hats. They were like, "Fuck it."
I don't know if that's common in other ballparks, but that the Mets were trying to make every fucking penny they could, which is the reason why they are now doing this Airbnb Citi Field night. Which I gotta be honest, I think it's kind of cool. I'm sure there are Mets fans who think that this is like a cash grab and like a stupid, like janky sort of Mets thing. But like, I've always been a fan of those like lock-in type of things. Like where, did you ever do a lock-in at school, Clem?
Where you lock in at a certain price?
No, it's like, it was called a lock-in. They just like, they locked you in overnight. You basically a sleepover. You had like a slumber party in the school. You all had like sleeping bags and shit in the gym. I think that shit's kind of fun. And then, so what the Mets are doing, it's $250. You get to stay the night in like a lounge area that has like a bed and a couch. You're not just like sleeping on the floor. Which, by the way, did that already exist, or did they make that for this? Like, why was there a room with a bed?
I think that they just brought the beds in. It's a suite that overlooks the Jackie Robinson Rotunda. Right. So you're like facing away from the field.
I mean, the Bobby Bonilla like trailer, it has a poker table, which I think was a little like wink, right? Like, yeah. So it has like a big poker table, a bed, a couch, like open glass that like looks over the rotunda. So you get to stay there for the night, and you get 2 games you get to watch, the both days games in the suite for $250. For is that per person though, or
no? I think so. Just for the whole night, it's yourself and 3 guests to sleep in the thing, and then
$250. You stay for the night, and you get 2 Mets games.
And you get unlimited food and drink.
So maybe it's even better than Barstool the Ballpark. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, so they're gonna do it. I'm assuming like a lot of different times throughout the season, or is it just like one time?
No, one-time deal. It's July 28th. Right.
So this is basically okay,
but it's not a contest. It's literally like. I'm telling you, the servers are going to crash. Everyone's going to try to log in at the exact time that it hits, and then you got to get in and get out. And you get to throw the first pitch.
Though, it might be one time to start. They're going to do that again because they're going to get $250 like instantly, and people are going to love it. So they'll probably do it throughout the season. But so it's just first come, first serve. So it's July 8th at noon. They go on sale. Mets fans are going to flood it, and it's just the first guy to get in there and buy the 4 tickets gets it. So that's going to be like Kyle said, it's like a sneaker drop, but on steroids. I didn't understand it was just a one-time thing. So yeah, that's going to be like, probably legitimately like hundreds of thousands of Mets fans are going to try to log on. There can only be one. One dude's going to get through. And there's going to be some poor bastard who's like putting in his credit card wrong and it like kicks out and a new guy gets it or some shit like that. It always happens.
You miss the one bike in the CAPTCHA screen to prove you're not a robot.
Yeah. I mean, I would do that for sure. I'm actually thinking, my wheels are spinning now, thinking maybe we can get in contact with the team and they can do that for us for like another night. You know what I mean? For like a promotional thing. Like it's July, the promotion is going to be on, let's say July 15th. But like I said, I think they're going to do it multiple times. So if they could hook us up, we could do a podcast from there. We could do a video. See, these are the things. The Mets are so dumb. Like, especially this year with the positive podcast, the Road to 96 and Positive K. Like, we got to be the guys you use to promote those kind of things. Invite us in, have us stay the night. We'll talk. We'll do Bobby Bonilla interviews. We'll hype it up. We'll get people to spend for the next time. Come on, Mets, work with us a little bit here. We're the only guys who got your back right now. The sky is fucking falling. The Mets give up 20 runs last night. And you know what I'm doing here? I'm still thinking, that's all right. That was rock bottom. We're going to go up from here. It's no big deal.
Thank the fucking Lord it's Jake Day. Because if it was like, if we were dealing with, I don't even know who like our pitchers are now because we just lost Peterson, who I'm going to put that on him getting hurt, even though it probably was him just sucking in the first inning. But it was such a tease that we actually got runs in the first inning. I'm like, all right, we've turned the corner. Let's go. There's nothing.
One good thing, Alonso's cooking. He's starting to come out. And that last night was a fucking bomb. I think it was like 445 feet. So he crushed that one.
And thank God we won that first game too, because I thought we were going to get shut out. And
we should have. Jason, a McCann home run. I always say Brian McCann. I'm just going to say a McCann home run and a Lindor clutch hit to win it is like that's some Haley's Comet shit. That ain't going to happen again for 75 years. That combination right there. So thank God. But that said, that's Francisco Lindor's MO. Like he's been the two things that I think of with Lindor are garbage and clutch hits. In the past 2-3 weeks, he's had like 2 game tying hits and 2 game winning hits. So that's not as crazy. McCann, he's had a couple bombs here and there. So yeah, whatever. It's like if it was a one-time fluke, I would say, yeah, thank God. But also, we've been saying the last few weeks, this team's winning games when they should roll over and die. So you got to give them some credit that that's their MO. They don't give up. They hang around. They're pests like late in the innings. So good W there, and just a soul crushing. You know what though? My spin zone here. Like, not going to tell you that wasn't a bad beat. Obviously, it's disgusting. But the difference of like 11-2, 12-2, and 20-2, like when you're putting when Almora's on the mound, it's like, they could have scored 30. It's like at that point, we're waving the white flag. We don't care what the score is. A loss is a loss. So it sucks seeing that two handle in the box score. It's for sure embarrassing. But to me, it's like, it's you know what, Clem? It's a loss. A loss is a loss is a loss, whether you lose 20-2 or whether, I don't know, you give up 7 runs in the 9th inning with your closer on the mound and you let the those are just losses. Those are both just losses. That's all that matters, man. Thank God for Jake and thank God for Aroldis Chapman blowing that game because at least Yankee fans can't say shit today. Here's a hypothetical or not. Here's a question for you. Which loss is worse? 20-2 beatdown or a W in your hand and you blow a 7-2 and an 8-4 lead and give up 7 in the 9th, which I think that the Yankees loss is worse, to be honest.
A million times worse. I was sleeping in bed without a care in my mind. I said, well, this game's I was like that at like 8-2. I was like, well, this game's just over. And the Yankees fans, they thought they had Ohtani, and then they're just like, all right, we just got to bleed out the rest of this game, blah, blah, blah. He's not even in the lineup at that point either, so you don't have to worry about Ohtani motherfucking you with the bat.
I mean, that went from the biggest win. You get to Ohtani and get his bat out of the lineup. Yeah, like you're like, fuck you, Ohtani. Like, we own you. And then you let that happen. That's way worse than just an average old 20-2 beatdown. Whatever.
And then the rain delay, like our boy George is in here. There was a 90-minute rain delay, so all these poor souls had to stay up all night, and to the point where we actually get a Steinbrenner saying he's going to get on a Zoom call. We got the ghost of George coming back here. So I couldn't have, I woke up this morning and I saw the score, and the only thing I thought of was I didn't give a fuck. Like, how did they score? I was just like, do we have a player pitch? Yeah. I was like, all right, Almora, good. Almora, he should be fucking every single time we're down. I want him pitching because he bats like a pitcher, so he should have to pitch like a pitcher.
That was one of those guys when people we're getting our players back. Almora's almost healthy.
He's the anti-Jake. I saw that he has 3 hits on the season and he let up 3 runs last night. That's fucking absurd.
He's Bizarro Jake. Yep. I mean,
yeah.
So here's the deal. I know last episode, just one episode ago, I told you we were going to be 6 games up by a certain date. I looked at the schedule, and I don't want to tell you that I was lying to you, but I was lying to you. I'm trying to be positive, K. I don't quite know how to be a positive fan yet. I'm still working it out. I'm like bi-curious when it comes to negative and positive Mets fans. I'm still testing the waters, so I don't know quite how to do it. I was trying to be positive, but I will be honest, I am very scared right now. I am very scared. I think that this team is poised to perhaps even relinquish first place rather quickly, because I think finally, as good as their pitching has been, the back end has been a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of luck, a lot of good gutsy performances, but how many times can you replicate it? If you're sending Eichhoff and Peterson to the mound regularly, it's not going to last. And as good as your 1 through 3 is, that's as bad as your 4 or 5 is. And obviously the offense has just been complete dog shit. So being 100% honest, the players they have that are good need to start performing. The players that are injured need to get healthy, and they need to make moves at the deadline, or they are in a lot of trouble. And it sucks because their pitching has been so good, and you look at how bad the offense is, and you say to yourself, oh, you got to go get a bat at the deadline. Then your problems are solved. But it's not really. The pitching has its problems too. It's been good. It's been amazing. But a lot of it has been you're going to trust that in the playoffs. You're going to trust some of these guys down the stretch. A lot of it is, you need both. So to be honest, they need pitching and batting help. I mean, either Stevie's got to be very active at the deadline, or I think we have to be realistic and be this is a good year. This is a good step forward, but I don't think it's worth mortgaging anything major for the future. It's not like we even have a major prospect to give up. But I don't think the move is let's go get a bat and a pitcher, and we got to go all in this year, because I do think they're just progressing in the right way. So I want them to be active, but not foolish. You know what I mean?
I'm going to clap it up for you, positive, K. You're making your way. Like you said, you're feeling yourself out right now. It's going to be all right. 500 in June. I would have liked at least a game over 500 to feel better for all the stupid June nonsense. But 500 in June, we couldn't have known we were going to have all these stupid other injuries that popped up as the guys were getting healthy. It was an absolute gauntlet. It's still going on. We still have another week and a half until the fucking All-Star break finally gets here. But it's going to be all right. I promise you guys, everything's going to be okay.
500 in June is... I will absolutely. If you told me on June 1st we were going to go 15-15, I would have signed for that in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah,
for the players that we had, absolutely. But I'm so absolutely nervous that the Yankees are playing like dog shit and we're playing like dog shit, and they have nothing to win because the Red Sox are so much better than them that it's whatever. So their entire weekend is just going to be to ruin us.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And
it's a very fair point.
And this is the other thing too. I think I was telling this to Bren yesterday. It sucks that we've lost some ground in the standings, but at the same point, you can't just keep being a little above 500 all year and just expect to have a 4-game lead, which I feel we're going to get that 4-game lead back. Mets up 4, put it in the fucking books at some point again. This is the thing though. The Nationals are the hottest team in the universe right now, and it's so hard. There's many people, like we discussed last time, these Mets killers, the assholes that we hate who just murder us. I cannot get mad at Kyle Schwarber for just completely motherfucking the entire world. I love the guy. He's just he's hard to hate, Kyle Schwarber. If you hate Kyle Schwarber, you hate yourself.
He's a big dumb meathead, and he's on the Kyle Schwarber fuck you tour. And he, everybody who passed on me can suck my dick. Chicago gave up on me, suck my dick. And it's taking an all-time, truly all-time run from Kyle Schwarber and a great run from the Nationals to catch up to us. It's a game of runs. Eventually, the Nats are going to have to cool down. Hopefully, the Mets heat up again. So if, we go from a 4-game lead to a 1-game lead, or even, God forbid, give up the lead in general, when we get hot in July, let's hope, then we take it back. I mean, that's the optimistic view of it, that, eventually Kyle Schwarber can't hit a home run per game. I mean, eventually
he tied Barry Bonds in 2001 and Sammy Sosa in 98 for home runs in a month. Like, that's fucking absurd.
It's gotta stop.
And it's crazy that was just life back then too, where you just have months like these happen all the fucking time. Like, guys would do these things multiple times within a few years. And Kyle, you said it before, like when the Mets are in first place in July, they made the playoffs both times. Is that the stat, or they were over 500?
So in 2015 they had 40 wins, and in 2016 they had 41 wins.
So
those are the 2 years.
That makes me feel good. And like last night, this is my dad's spin zone from last night. It's kind of like a dunk is only worth 2 points. It was only one game in the standings. It sucked. Right. And hopefully everyone just fucking rip the parachute at like, once it's like a half a dozen run deficit, the Mets offense is not doing that. And you just went about your night. You watched some other show, or you just went to sleep, whatever it may be. And the Francisco Lindor spin zone I'm going to come with for you, it's basically the anti-A-Rod. Remember, A-Rod would bat like 350, have like 45 home runs, and the Yankees would be like, he never comes through in the big spot. Lindor is batting like 200, but he always comes through in the big spot. So he's like, I'll just take the clutch guy. He may not always come through in the big spot, as we saw the other day when he swung at 3 of the worst pitches in the history of baseball. But as long as he comes through once every 3 times, that's all I fucking need. Clutch Lindor.
It wasn't big enough for him. Okay, he knew that there was no out. Out to spare. If there was 2 outs, 1 out, he would have got the job done. It wasn't big enough for Clutch Frankie. Listen, in my mind, Lindor has like 3 or 4 game-winning or game-tying hits. He has a 4 WAR. Okay, in my opinion, that's 4 games right there.
There you go.
Say what you want, haters. He's a 4 WAR player.
Super advanced analytics. We're dealing with sabermetrics, next level shit. This is fucking the Kevin Clancy Deloitte mind is on display. It's pumping out, and it's being fueled by it so far. For anyone watching the stream, he's eating chocolate chip mini muffins, and now he's moving on to pizza at 10:30 in the morning. And is that a Coke?
And yeah, that's a Coke and a chicken roll. I am fucking cooking right now.
Oh, what a great Bobby Bonilla day it is. Unbelievable. So, and this is the craziest thing, is this entire time we've had the gauntlet, we had Bobby Bonilla day, every stuff with the Grom. Like any other season, I feel like, Kev, you would have been targeting like this Yankee series, how you're gonna like be battling the Gabagool boys and all this stuff. It kind of is just like whatever. I barely even remember that the Subway Series is literally, tomorrow, or by the time people listen, it's tonight, right?
Yeah, I feel like in other years, I would be saying that this is a Kunzel potential weekend. Like, you get swept by the Yankees, and I'm throwing out the C word. I will say, I'm not like anticipating it. It's not like I had it circled on my calendar. It's not like I've been worrying about it or looking forward to it. Sometimes I look forward to it because like we play the Yankees well usually. Other times I'm like, I don't want this smoke at all, just because I don't want to hear it from the Gabagool boys. I'm not like, it's not a big deal. But when we're playing the games in the moment, I'm gonna be like, I want to fucking win. And if we lose and we do stupid, heartbreaking shit, I'm gonna be very annoyed. I don't want to hear it from Hubs and Tommy. I don't want Frank Fleming to be like having his victory parade when we lose. So I dread the Subway Series a lot of times. When in the moment, I'm like, fuck this. I'd rather just be playing the fucking Reds,
Yeah. It's just so hyper-focused because everyone's eyes are on that game, because Mets fans are insufferable on Twitter. Yankee fans are insufferable on Twitter. And then it's just a fucking torpedo of whoever's going to win. It's just going to be grave dancing for that night until the next night. You have to deal with it for 24 hours.
Yep.
It's terrible.
I remember I threw out the only irresponsible console I've ever thrown out. I was doing it. I did it on the rundown for theatrics. I didn't really believe it. It was 2000, 2-3 years ago, whatever, back in the old office. So maybe like 3-4 years ago. The Yankees had just been swept by the Red Sox and had the fucking shit kicked out of them. And I was like, console, it's a wrap for them. Now realizing that they were like 3 games up in the wild card at the time. And then they played the Mets. You remember I think they swept the Mets and they just took off. They went they used the Mets as a springboard. They won 20 games in August right after that, and they were dominant. And I was like, oh, whoops, that might have been a little premature. But that's my fear, is that I just don't want to be the we're gonna get them out of their funk. I know Yankee fans are despondent. I know Tommy Fleming is ready to fucking jump ship. But I just get worried that it's oh yeah, the Mets were what the doctor ordered. We just got to play them. You just can't with the Subway Series. For me, I don't get greedy. I just don't want to get embarrassed or get swept or whatever. I'll sign for they can take 2 out of 3 or whatever. It's a split. I don't care as long as it's not a Luis Castillo or Billy Wagner giving up 5 in the 9th or any of those.
Fucking the one year it was Travis d'Arnaud played 6 positions during the game. Mm-hmm. They moved him from short to second to third to catcher. I'm this is just so embarrassing. Just have some sort of feel.
Yeah, you don't have to do that right now, man. It's ridiculous.
That was my console. I remember I consoled that game because they say it's always it's a big game where everyone's watching and you have a player who has no business playing a position. And then I saw that exact scenario. Travis d'Arnaud was playing second. I'm out, console dust size, and it's over. This weekend we have I feel all their guys are I know I see Gary's hitting fucking bombs all the goddamn time. Judge isn't dead for once, so he's actually playing. That fake ass ballpark we have to deal with all the stupid short porch and all that nonsense. So I just hate these Yankee series. I don't like them. They're not fun. What?
At the same time, they haven't been playing well. So
that's true.
If we individual guys, sure, but as a team and that bullpen, if you can catch them on their downswing where it's I don't know, it could be fun. It's a postseason type of feeling in the regular season where everything's just heightened. Wins are going to be that much more exciting. Losses are going to hurt much more. And I just hold on for dear life because you just don't want to hear it from the fucking Goombas.
So I floated this out there at the beginning of the week. What if, because Walker's throwing tomorrow, it's an away game, but I was if they break out the black jerseys tomorrow in Yankee Stadium and just steal all the thunder from their series, I was I would love if Uncle Stevie was just fuck it, we're just going to go live with it now. And it's just everyone's talking about it, gets everybody jacked up. Maybe the bats come alive. You have to do something because we're 4-6 in our last 10. They're 4-6 in their last 10, and we have the same amount of wins.
Wow.
They played more games, but
I dig it. It's Stroman, Walker, DeGrom. Those are the 3 guys that have to be on the bump the first time you break out the blacks. You can't. And listen, McGill's pitching. And this is the other thing that sucks about these Yankee series. We have an ESPN game on Sunday. I hate those Sunday night baseball games. But we at least have a 1:00 game on Saturday, which is nice. So we have a day game, so we don't have to have all night games. But I think I kind of like Tyler McGill. Is that crazy to say? He's a big motherfucker. He has a fun name to say, and he had Freddie Freeman flummoxed. Absolutely.
Flummoxed. Say that 10 times fast.
I almost had a stroke, if you guys could hear as I was trying to say it.
Hey, listen, there's something to, if you're good, you got some talent in you. You always have that little grace period when you first come up where people don't have the book on you and they don't know what to look for, and you can kind of, fuck these guys your first time through the league. I don't hate it, Clem. I don't hate it one bit. I'll ride with Tyler McGill.
Again, and it's he has Ty Lore. It's they say you pronounce Ty Lore, and as I said, it's a Game of Thrones name. I'm in on him. Not my. At this point, we don't have a fucking choice. That other guy, who's the guy we just brought up? The guy who pitched last night, Streminsky. He got his tits lit up, but
I couldn't say his name.
It's. At this point, we have to kind of just go after another pitcher. I think by the deadline, which we'll get to in a few weeks. I'm sure.
You want a pitcher or you want a bat?
I want a bat. I don't, and a Chris Bryant bat would be obviously great. We said it, I think, before the season started. I feel like you need a guy who is a 280 hitter who's just going to make contact, get you a couple doubles along the way, and give me an 80% of a Keith Hernandez guy. I feel like a guy who just needs to help United, because we thought and Lindor is doing it his way, but I think you kind of need that old, just salty old veteran. You know what I mean? A 13-year vet in the league, and you kind of just go from there. And I think we're gonna have to get both though. I don't think you can do one or the other. They're gonna have to get both. I think Sandy will get both, and I do think like we don't have the prospects to like just give up and get something awesome. But I think Sandy, like, well, we can eat the money, which is almost just as important as anything else these days in baseball. Mm-hmm. Everyone's looking to shed. I mean, we got Lindor for, you know, like all these guys. Mookie got moved for nothing. So you can get guys like that, you know, who are even less talented for pretty much a song.
I'm fine with, like, we don't, like I said, we don't have any major prospects that will like crazy mortgage the future. So if it's just about taking on money, you can get a big name. Like it's almost relaxing to go into a trade deadline without the possibility of giving up this amazing prospect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's when you and we should have learned our lesson that nobody ever pans out. So we should always be willing to move it for the sure thing. But there were years where it was like, oh, I hope we don't move Lasting's Millage, or I hope we don't move Carlos Gomez, or whatever, you know, Martinez. And you just don't want to be that guy who, you know, we thought we did it with Kalenic and it was the worst thing in the world. Maybe not, we found out. But, you know, I don't think there's anything that can happen this break, you know, unless it's like some single A guy who pans out, you know, 5 years from now. Who knows? It's like, I don't know. I think be aggressive, go after it, as long as you're not mortgaging the future too much. But that, you know, I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here because I'm like, go ahead and be aggressive. But this is not the year for this team. Like, I hope it is. You know, anything can happen. But, you know, the Yankees came into this year being like, we have to win the World Series. The Mets, it's like, we wanted to make the playoffs. We're hoping to be in contention. So don't mortgage anything crazy because we just need to keep building for the future.
It's such a weird spot to be in because the offense has never clicked at all in my mind this entire year. So if after the All-Star break, they actually play like they're supposed to and like on paper how good they're supposed to be, you don't need to do anything other than get a pitcher and potentially like a role player bat. Like you don't need some big banger who's going to like come in and hit 15, 20 home runs on the second half of the season. Like there's a ton of people who aren't hitting the ball. Pete Alonso has 13 home runs. Like he's tied with fucking like Dansby Swanson for home runs. Like that's not going to pan out all season.
I would say one of my biggest first half letdowns was that I thought Pete was going to have like a monster. Yeah. I thought we were going to like get back to 50 home runs, and it just hasn't really clicked. But yeah, I mean, I hate to say it because it's like old school Mets loser talk, but the old like our big acquisition is going to be Michael Conforto and Syndergaard. Mm-hmm. But there is truth to it. It's like if those guys do play, they've been in first place the whole year. They've been injured and underperforming. So you get healthy and start to perform, the sky's the fucking limit. But those are obviously two very big ifs.
I don't know, man. I need Conforto to start hitting. Like I'm just thinking, like all these guys have been like, you know, give a couple days to get, you know, your feet under you and all that shit. But I just need to see them start hitting. And Cookie Carrasco, I have a guy who sends me clips every time he's stretching out. He's like, he's alive. So those are the new like Jed Lowry things, where it's like there's proof of life of Cookie Carrasco. It was Jed Lowry. Before that, it was Zach Wheeler. Cookie Carrasco needs to come back at some goddamn point. So then I can.
It's Cookie Cadaver until further notice.
There you go.
All right. So happy Bobby Bonilla Day. And we'll see what happens, you know, in this World Series, this Subway Series. Shout out to Bobby Bo. There it is, $1.19 million. I love the 20 cents. $1,193,038.20 to Bobby.
Look at that signature there. They should make the Wolpod still pay for it.
Yeah, that would be great. That would have been the one thing. Like, I'll give you this. I get the team in exchange. You can keep SNY. You also got to keep paying Bobby Bo, you dumb assholes. But here's the thing. Cheers to surviving June. Cheers, boys. It's been a long time since June has not been a absolute motherfucker of a month, and we survived. 500. It's nothing to, you know, thump your chest about, but it's much, much better than years gone by. And I said the other day on Twitter when we came back and won that game, I said, this team just keeps winning. And somebody said to me, what are you talking about? 6-9 in our last 15. I said, yeah, I understand that, but it really should be, you know, like 3-12. It should be like 2-13. And so they've won games that they really had no business winning because they don't die and because they stick with it. So, you know, they have shown a lot of grit. Now they got to show some talent. And if they do that, I think they'll be in great shape. So it's a big if, but I also don't hate the position we're in. I think you can only go up from a 20-2 game. So And with the break, everybody, gets a day off, gets to rest a little bit, maybe get some of these guys healthy. Chill out, right?
Just chill. Fucking motto of the season: just chill out.
And as always,
gotta believe.